would do.
Bam, we're live.
There it is. You forgot that one time.
Welcome to the Coffee Wads and Pods podcast. I'm your host, Peter. The show sucks today. Please go over to Apple and ding the shit out of it. We deserve it.
Apple. People don't listen to this on Apple.
Man, dude. Man, oh man. How do I sound?
Horse.
Good. Mr. Howell, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Mr. Townsend, how are you?
Yo.
God, I hope you guys carry the show today.
Hold on.
God, I hope you guys carry the show.
James is here to carry the show.
Oh, please. Oh, bye, James. Too much pressure for him.
He's like, yeah, F that.
Too
I'm
much
out of
pressure
here.
for him.
No way, Jose.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you hear me?
We can.
He's back. Where are you going?
We can. Why don't we start with this dude? Oh, man. I've been hit by a truck, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with this dude.
This dude. This guy in second?
Yeah, this guy in second. He did, I think 4 guys at the Far East did 4:30. Are any of you surprised by that?
4:30.
Sorry, 3:30. I apologize. 3:30. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes today. My name's Peter, and I'm with the Coffee Wads podcast. My name's Peter.
I see. Yes, 4 guys did that number.
Insane, right?
Pretty insane. They all move better than anything I've ever seen, really.
James, do you have any thoughts on that? Like, do these new CrossFitters, is that what they do? They kind of get obsessed. They kind of get obsessed with like lifting weights. So we're going to see people get strong before the metabolic conditioning comes, or what's going on?
Yeah. That's what, I always tell. Well, I got one athlete in here that likes watching people on Instagram, and he thinks he needs to get stronger. I'm telling him, like, dude, you got more to worry about than getting stronger. You gotta take care of all the other stuff before you even worry about getting stronger. So the important things matter, not just strength all the time.
So you're not surprised. 3 guys, 3:30 out of this podunk semifinal in Korea.
Nope.
Podunk.
By the way, beautiful podunk. What a great setup they have there. Beautiful, great lighting. Yeah, great place. What do you think, JR? Are we surprised to see 4 guys out of Korea hit 3:30?
No, not at all. I mean, a lot of people would argue that the best weightlifters in the world come from Asia, and they really value good movement quality, and it just usually seems like they move really well.
What's so funny?
I like it that James is laughing because I got a little clip. You have 2 race experts, James Townsend and Sevan Matosian, on the phone right now, and I'd like to play a little clip for you.
Oh,
I'd like to play a clip for you guys that I saw on the morning chalk up. I found it fascinating.
So, barbell lifting in Asia is something that, generally speaking, Asian athletes in particular really enjoy. From an anthrometrics and build standpoint, actually the Koreans just move so well with the barbell. They're great squatters. They've got great overhead positions. So immediately I was already excited.
Anthrometrics. They have an unfair advantage because they're Asian. What the hell is anthrometrics?
limb lengths.
Asians are better lifters than the rest of us?
Yeah,
when you're, when you're 5'2", 5'3",
Are they 5'2" and 5'3"? Everyone who hit 330, is that how tall they are?
No.
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 There was one guy who was stupid jacked who hit 330. He was lifting right before Alexander Ilin, I think.
Is this the Kuwaiti guy?
I don't remember where he was from, but I just remember he was crazy. He put his arms over his head, and each of his biceps were bigger than his head. Like, oh my God.
Let's look at the guy in second place. He's fucking huge.
Yeah, we did. Hold on one
looking
second.
at him.
Hold on. I want to look at the definition of this word.
Late.
Anthrometry refers to the measurements of the human individual as early tool of physical anthropology. It has been used for identification for the purpose of understanding human physical variation. Here's the thing. I like it that he said it. I'm not hating on the guy, but if you go to Africa, there's dudes who are as many variations as dudes as there are as white dudes. And if you go to Asia, there's as many there's Koreans, there's Japanese, there's Chinese, there's Filipino. They all got all the bodies.
Are you familiar with a low bar back squat, Sevan?
Kinda. Don't embarrass me in front of James.
I know James is familiar with it, but it's just
I-
some people have.
I'm not saying that people aren't different, but it's
I don't like
interesting.
low bars. Low back squat.
You would say that you've got like an 800-pound high bar back squat.
That's right.
Let me ask
some
this.
people are. Go ahead.
How long before we have an Asian guy on the podium at the CrossFit Games?
Long time.
Long time?
Well, Asian as in
I mean, it might
Like
be this
Roman-
year if Roman goes to the
Roman
games.
Krennikov Asian, or Asian as like,
No,
Southeast Asia.
Asian, yeah, that kind.
Long time, I think.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I mean, I just think if China gets in the mix, they just start something happens.
But right now, no one's in the mix, and you don't see. I mean, you would think that guys like Justin Medeiros, Dallin Pepper, James Guy Tudor, a lot of these guys seem like they're in line. I don't see anybody else threatening.
Someone goes, "Why is the thumb calling in from World War II?"
I know. You should see my DMs are full of just hammering the poor thumb, just hammering. How strong is hey, do you even have the right headphones chosen? I know you have the headphones on, but do you have the right mic chosen, Taylor?
What am I? Is that
You're on a
yeah?
computer.
Wow. And
He
he only
said it.
did how much?
I think that's 3.
Funniest part is his mouth disappears under that beard.
Taylor, how strong is that guy? Can you do that?
No, I can't do that.
James, can you do that?
Me?
Yeah. Can you catch it 2 inches from lockout and then push it out like that? 310.
Yeah, I mean, anything under 335, I'm push pressing. So
I like the way James grabs his shoulder too. Did you see that as he says that? He's like, yeah.
What can you hit on that complex, James? We saw the 355. I'm sure everyone wants to know. What could you hit?
Yeah. So I wanted to try it out, and I plan on doing it again, depending on what Guy does. So I could just see. But with all the excitement from the crowd and everything, I think I'll open up at 365, so 385, and then 405.
Wow, you're not joking.
You had a 4-something pound power clean at one point, didn't you? Like a 445 power clean?
425.
425.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Pretty good.
How many posts ago was that? Was that your most recent one?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3.
I see the boxing one. I see. Is it? Okay, here it is. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, the jerk was horrendous.
You were trying to compete with that guy, Nasir? The music was great, but I know I'll get copyright violation if I fuck with that.
It's a nice shirt too.
Yeah, it was victory from Diddy.
Damn.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's 355.
At least it was a split jerk. The other guys was like a push press looking thing.
So now you have James Townsend's credentials. I want to see if I can pull up one other man's credentials here, if I can. Mr. J.R. Howell, who owns CrossFit Crash. Let's see if I can share this page. JR, what is happening in this photo? If you don't, here you are with the great Dave Castro. Did you compete at the games?
Allegedly, yeah. Last year.
Allegedly.
Did you? Did you really?
Yes.
What division?
35 to 39.
Dang.
Nice.
Wow. I had no idea. And what are you? Do you remember this moment that you and Dave are talking?
Yeah, it's definitely a moment I'll never forget.
Okay, tell us. Two men of a lot of words. J.R. Howell and Dave Castro, two of the most talkative men I know.
Yeah, so I got done with this workout, which is the legless rope climb, deadlift workout, and he walked up to me and he said, "Wow, you guys went really fast on that." And I said, "Yeah, thanks." You know, and he looked at me up and down, head to toe and said, "You look so tall out there, but you're not that tall." And then he said, he turned and he looked at the ropes and he said, "Those are supposed to be 20 feet. I don't think they're 20, more like 18."
And that was it.
That was it.
Did he even ask your name? Did he say your name?
No, he just said you crushed it. That's all he said.
Very intimate.
That's Dave.
Angelo, thanks for coming on for a few minutes today. Angelo DeChico going to the CrossFit Games with one of the Mayhem teams. You just pick a name. That will suit him. There's something. I feel really bad putting you on the spot here like this, but
No, do it.
Yeah, I will. Some footage has come out that I don't think you guys wanted us to see from the Mayhem camp. I know you guys have those semis bring in all of your equipment and all those people come in and you have that huge support team. And I know at the end, the workers, the carnies all get Rich's shirt. They take turns taking Rich's shirt after every competition. And I saw this happening behind the scenes over at the Mayhem camp. And I'm just wondering if you could enlighten us on what happened. These are two gentlemen fighting over who gets Rich's shirt here. Here we go. This is from Cookville locals.
Yeah, they look like Cookville locals.
Look at that form.
Who wins?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
oh.
You think he's a lefty? You think he's a lefty? Anyway, Angelo, what happens? Who ends up getting Rich's shirt out of those two?
I think it was pretty obvious. The only guy still standing.
James, can you work with those guys? Two guys come in like that into your gym. Can you turn them into CrossFitters?
I don't know.
You work the magic. The comedy is over and the Granite Games have started. Is that guy, from what I'm seeing, that guy Nasir just had two good events and he's not going to stay at the top of the leaderboard. What do you guys think? Any opinions on this guy? No.
Well, I don't know if this guy is as brutishly strong as he seems to be. You know, sometimes snatch can expose something like that. I think the next event they have is a 200 double unders, 100-foot handstand walk, and then a snatch ladder. But I'm not sure if that could be power or full. And if it can be power, I think he's got like a 365 power clean and push jerk on his Instagram. If it translates over to snatch, he may crush that one. And if he's got good grip endurance, which he kind of proved on event 1, then he'll probably crush the 100-pound dumbbell workout at the end. So unless he's awful at legless rope climbs, he may be punching his ticket.
And that's what that semifinal needs. They need some new blood. They need some better competition. Yes, they do, Sevon. Yes, they do. Okay, let's go over.
That's why they sent Robin over there.
Let's
they
go
sent Robin over there because they needed someone to watch, someone to compete with Nasir. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was trying to pump you up. No one else was doing it.
I appreciate it. Sorry, there's no leaderboard matches your search. Semifinals, Granite Game. Okay.
Will Brensetter said he just watched that guy squat snatch 305 in a ladder, so I think he's going to do just fine.
Hey, do you think they purposely turn off the leaderboard so we can't do our show?
Yeah, I think that everything they do is in relation to our show, your show, the show.
Let's see here. What's going on?
They know James was on it.
James, what do you think of the Far East programming?
Man, you know what? To be honest, I haven't looked at it, but I mean, I think, the program as a whole for all semifinals is okay. I know there's some athletes out there who said it sucks. I thought for syndicate it was pretty good. I mean, obviously it was pretty good for my athlete, but it's like when I hear athletes kind of complain about the programming, I got to go back and think like, all right, well, CrossFit has the term of fittest on earth, right? Or the best athletes in the world. And so they have that hopper system. So with CrossFit, you need to be good at everything, right? So if you got athletes out there that's complaining about certain programming, then to me, that just tells me that, all right, you're not working on everything. Because if you're in CrossFit and you're doing a competition and you're doing certain programming, there's no room for you to complain about, certain program. That's just my 2 cents, on it.
Do you think they should all be the same, or do you think all having different workouts is?
I like the old model of the way regionals were. I like that, every workout should be the same. Even though, the ones who go last have the advantage because they.
I prefer that too. I've kind of recently flipped the script on that. I didn't like that at first, and now I prefer that.
Angelo, what do you think?
I think you guys cut out for a second on what the semifinals programming as.
Yeah, you think it should all be the same, all the semifinals?
Yeah, I think it should be all the same. I think they should at least the parameters that they choose should at least be tighter because, like looking at it, you couldn't. I mean, I couldn't tell you any parameters that CrossFit set on it. Like they said they set bumpers on what they want the workouts to look like. I mean, I couldn't tell you whether it's squatting in every workout. Like that probably is a common thing they wanted. It seems like, but or squatting close to every workout. But no, I think the regionals program was better. Now necessarily, I wouldn't say that all of the regionals program was always the best, but at least it was across the board. It was the same, and so you're getting the same people who are good at the same tests to the games. I think, I would use myself as an example. I think that I would consider myself close to making it in some semifinals, and maybe some I could make it, or maybe some I would be, bottom of, mid 15 or so. So, yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes down to luck and where you get placed, and I don't really like that. I wish it was just all the way across the board. It was fair.
From a fan's perspective, it would be better too.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
the James.
I always liked it, and I've been rewatching some older clips and stuff. Like when I was watching a regional, you would see one guy in the first week, set an event record, and then like on the last week, obviously the last week they've had more time to practice and time to watch, and so you can kind of cheat it a little bit, but it is cool to see the announcers get behind it and the fans get behind it. They say, oh, Rich Froning did this workout in 7 minutes week 1, but now you got Matt Fraser in week 4 and he's doing it in 6:30. Maybe he's going to beat Rich this year. It was a big talk, and it kind of just hyped everything up for everybody.
Oh shit, he heard you talking shit about him.
What
are you talking about?
Oh, you missed my bit.
Rich beat you in every regional. That's all he said.
Do you like regionals? Did you like how regionals was, that it was always the same programming for everybody, or the semifinals being different?
I actually like the semifinals different when the semifinals know what the hell they're doing on programming.
Isn't Far East programming pretty good?
Honestly, that's the one I haven't really looked at, to be honest.
Him and James were out for a drink. They missed looking at that one. You do
Which
like that
one's,
programming,
your
or were you
favorite?
just messing with them, Taylor? I thought you said yesterday you didn't like it.
I was fucking with him. I was being suspicious.
Oh.
Rich, do you have a preferred? Do you have a semifinal that you actually like the programming over the others?
I honestly, I've liked Syndicate and Max workouts individually from each other. I didn't like how a lot of them came together as an overall test, if that makes sense. Like I thought each event, minus the CrossFit ones, because that legless one was I commented on your video, Hillard, that
is you. Thank God.
It is me.
Everyone's like, that's not Rich. I'm like, yes, it is.
That's me.
Thank you.
It wasn't a great workout in 2014, and it was even worse in 2022, so I'm not a huge fan of what's Granite Games that's going on right now. I don't love those at all. I think nobody gives a shit. It's teams because ew, gross, but they're snatching twice in the same day, which is ridiculous.
Oh wow!
And there's one worm workout.
Yeah, and that's, you look at a lot of the different semifinals. I won't say which one, but there was maybe one true team test at a couple of them, and the other ones were just individual efforts. Where it was, hey, sprint your heart out and let your partner do some work, and it would. I think and that's, like I said, it's gross teams, but teams get the back burner a lot. I guess that's why I appreciate Syndicate and Mac, because I feel like they actually put some time into team events.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is that how you also used to feel about the Wadapalooza programming for the team events too? Because it was you sprint your ass off and then you kind of see where the individuals are at, but there was never really any true team component to it.
Yep. Yeah, I've always kind of, not loved the team aspect of what they have going on. This year they had a couple decent ones, and then they had a couple swing and misses.
Do you know who programs Granite Games?
I do not, actually.
Is it public who programs any of them? Is it public who programs any of them?
I thought maybe Carlos. I thought Carlos commented on their podcast yesterday and said that Guido did it. I don't know how true that is.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Actually, someone wrote that in the comments here. I don't know if it's true either.
That was one of the media guys from.
Hey, Rich, I got a question for you. So you're about to do 24-hour mountain bike ride?
Between 4 people, yeah.
Do you get approval from your team to do that?
No.
Andrea hates it. I'm pretty sure. She told me after Syndicate that she can't wait for me to get through with all this mountain bike riding so I can start doing more CrossFit.
James, if Tudor Magda, the future of the sport, told you right now he was about to do 24-hour mountain bike ride, what
a great name. What a great name. Sorry.
I know.
Trice, when they said that, he just said Tudor and laughed.
Yeah. Nah. For him, I would say go ahead and do it because that's what he needs right now.
Really, even before the games, you wouldn't be like, hey, can't this wait till September 1st?
Nah.
JR, what would you tell your athletes if they're fooling around like Rich?
Well, if they're as good as Rich, they can fool around as much as they want. It's not going to matter.
Fine. Fuck you guys. Wait till I'll ask you guys again. I'll ask you guys again when Rich is gone.
There's that whole component that you got to be a little bit risky, right? It's like if you take away that factor that is do whatever the hell, whenever you want to do it, then it might make you worse as an athlete. Go ahead and do it and get after it.
There's an unnecessary risk component to everything, but yeah, I mean, I probably riding at night is not the greatest thing we should be doing right now, but I really enjoy it. So,
we've got you.
Old, he needs to start crossing stuff off his bucket list. That's why he's doing.
That's right. Yeah, I'm on the bucket list phase of my life. I'll be a master next year, so I got to start knocking those things out before I die.
Hey, Rich, I want to ask you a question here. There is a ton of hype behind Mal O'Brien, and she's young, and you also had that hype behind you. What's the pressure feel like for her here when just everyone's just expecting you to take first? Is it fun or is it annoying? Did you remember any of that?
If she's anything like me, you don't really notice the outside pressure. I mean, I have that same pressure and still have the same pressure on myself and on our team, but it's more of an internal pressure. Yeah, it doesn't make it as fun because when you're expected to win, everybody's like, yeah, it's just whatever. But, when you win unexpectedly, then people get more hyped about it. Or just everybody's always like, oh, I beat you in, whatever it is, if it's one little thing. But I guess that's kind of the cool thing about CrossFit too is in any given workout, you can get your ass kicked. And, you're even if you win the games, you haven't won every single event. So there's still, pieces to that.
Do you have any thoughts about who handles pressure better like that, women or men? James, do you have any thoughts? Or do you think you can't even categorize it like that?
I would, I would kind of say men does. I'll just leave it at that.
I think it has a lot to do with somebody's history, like how was their upbringing with their parents, with coaching, I think what you're going to see a lot of is these kids not playing sports. And so they've never really had pressure. They've never, they've done CrossFit and they think that's their pressure. But sports, I think, are an incredible, life lesson you learn, and not to say doing CrossFit as a teen isn't a sport, but I feel like playing team sports, doing all these different sports in high school or middle school or whatever it is, prepare you for so many more things in life, as well as competing in CrossFit. And a lot of these kids aren't getting it. Angelo.
I played.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree.
Angelo played lacrosse.
I agree with that because team sports, there's a lot of stuff that's out of your control, and you may still lose a game, even though you could play the best game of your life and still lose. And I feel like that builds a lot of character too. It's not always about what you've done. And then when you get to a CrossFit event, I think I've heard, several years out in not Madison, in California, the sleds were, some people's sled lanes were crappy and some people's sled lanes were good. And like, there's
fake news.
That shit was real.
There's stuff you can't control in all sports, and then stuff like that, would rattle certain people and it wouldn't rattle other people who've had experiences with like things that are out of their control. You move on. You can't do anything about it. You move on. You try to do good in the next event.
We had Justin Medeiros on the other day, and he said when he has a bad event, he set the timer for 20 minutes, and his coach does and says, "Hey, you can feel sorry for yourself 20 minutes." Thoughts about that, JR? Good technique.
Yeah, I think it's a great technique for someone that maybe has a fast turnaround before the next event, or someone that tends to dwell on past performances. If you're someone that's going to just beat yourself up over it for a full day or maybe into the next day, and it's going to affect the next event, then I think doing something like that's probably smart.
Taylor, you hear how good he sounds? You got the same mic as you, dude. He sounds like a man.
You sent it to me, bro.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Angelo.
I said, I don't know anyone like that. Do you, Rich?
I know a Hillary Froning that tells me to get over myself on a constant basis, so they need that.
James, how long did you work with Mal?
2 years.
And how frequent was your working with her?
Man, every day, 6 days a week.
Okay. What do you expect from her this week?
I expect her to handle her business. For the 2 years that I trained her to be a machine. And as we saw last year, Mal 1000 was born. But I'm expecting her to do her thing, especially on workout number 1. That's in her wheelhouse. And, and that's why I like to build on to my athletes. It's like, look, if something is your wheelhouse, go get it. Go for it. Take bits and pieces from athletes and apply it to your repertoire. Right. And I expect her to do her thing, man. She made it there, and I'm expecting Matt to be able to capitalize off of that, and she's gonna do her thing.
It's very similar to the workout that she won at the games, right? And she's the youngest female ever to win a workout at the CrossFit Games.
Correct.
Man, I wonder if
Savon's doing his homework. Good job.
Someone sent it to me. Will Plummer sent it to me. Will Plummer sent it to me. I don't know shit. Does the men's category at the Granite Games have anyone that has that pressure on them the way Mal has, that's just expected to win it? Do you think that pressure's on Fikowski?
No, not like that. I think the most pressure would be on Sam Quant. That's just my opinion.
I saw you shake your head, James. So Mal is that dominant, or her class is that shallow?
Right. I mean, the hype behind her, for her to be 17 years old, to play 7th last year, and then, to switch camps and then be trained by, one of the greatest in the sport, and that pressure alone comes with it. So, from her winning the Open, winning quarterfinals, and then now, everybody, eyes on her to quote unquote be the next one to try to dethrone Tia. So, yeah, that pressure. The pressure is there, but I know she could capitalize on it and continue that build.
Do you think it's going to do you know how you're going to react when you see her go out there on the field? Do you think it's going to move you more than you think?
No, because my athlete did his thing, and 2021 is over with. So I got 2022 and beyond to worry about right now.
For sure. All right.
Does it make you angry that Brian has Colton Mertens outside of the top 5?
Everyone should have an emotional. Everyone's intellect should be damaged by emotion, and therefore pick Colton. How's that?
He should do great on. He
Say
should
that
do
again,
great
James?
on workout 1. He should do great on workout 1. Yeah. Yeah, he should do great on workout 1, and then going into the complex, I have him in my top 5 for that. So I see him coming out on top as number 1.
Hey, Angelo just summoned Brian. Hey, but James, I love that analysis. Brian, we were just, it's funny. Angelo was talking shit about Rich, and Rich popped on, and then he was talking shit about you, and you popped on. Look at this. Angelo, who you can talk shit about next?
Matt Frazier.
I gotta wait at least 5 or 10 minutes, otherwise I'll use up all my magic.
He's a wizard.
Brian, now that you're at the event and you've laid eyes on the athletes, is any part of you, any of your opinions changing, or is your emotion getting in the way, your judgment getting clouded, seeing these veins and legs and asses and stuff?
I saw two athletes in particular that I was really impressed with yesterday with just their general physique and demeanor, and one of them was Emily Rolfe, and the other was Colton Mertens.
I am a wizard. I need to hang up. I need to go use this magic somewhere else.
Angelo's a wizard.
I had to say that. I had to say that. Everyone's giving me a hard time about Colton.
Does he just look like a brick shithouse or what?
He seriously does look really good. He looks like he's about as prepared as he could be physically, and I think he's pretty much always locked in mentally.
James, on his Instagram, he did a 335 with the complex. Should he? I don't know which event that is at the Granite Games. Is it number 2? Which number is it?
The second one.
Second one. Should he open? Now that we saw that, do we expect him to open with 335 there?
No.
Uh-uh.
Going out on a platform is different than being able to do it in the gym and
on
then
Instagram.
warming up. Yeah, it's totally different. It's like weightlifting. You could warm up to your opener and then go out on a platform and bomb your opener.
So wait a second. James Townsend does 355 on his Instagram in the complex, and then we asked him what he would open with at the semis. He says 365, but Colton Mertens has to go down.
I'm different. because I'm not squatting it. That's why I'm not squatting it. So, to me, I was seeing a lot of athletes, and it's that second complex on that front squat. If they come out slow on that front squat and they're able to complete it, they should just make a 5-pound bump. I've been seeing a lot of athletes, complete their second round and then try to make a 10-pound jump. If your front squat is slow on that second attempt, do not make a 10-pound jump.
Taylor, is that a head fuck to come up out of that second front squat slow? Perfect.
You're muted.
JR,
muted,
go ahead,
Taylor.
buddy. JR, go ahead. Go ahead, JR. JR, when they come, tell me what you think about what James is saying. If that second front squat, because as a fan, you get nervous too, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good rule of thumb. No pun intended, Taylor. It's even if your jerk is the strongest out of all those lifts, if your legs are gone after that second squat, that jerk's going to be tough.
Brian, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is everything smooth at the Granite Games? Should we expect everything to be perfect?
He can't hear you now.
No. Brian.
I can hear you. Yeah, everything's going to be great.
I've got a question for Brian.
Okay, go.
So did you see the Far East that the judge was giving them hand signals when to move on through the cleans and through the front squats into the jerk?
Excuse me. No.
Did you catch that? So yeah, it seemed as if they were trying to stop the athletes from moving on too quickly between the movements by giving them a hand gesture. And I was wondering if you'd heard anything about that at the Granite Games, or if it's going to look a lot like the Syndicate and the MAC.
Sorry to say I don't know.
All right.
Great question. Hey, did you I noticed it. Did you like it? I thought it was good.
I did like it, yeah.
It lets everyone know that their lift's done and to move on to the next one.
It seemed like the best way to go about doing it, yeah. And it really stopped athletes from either being confused, or it stopped people from using my judgment on the outsider's perspective of things.
So Hiller,
go ahead.
I got a question. I don't mean to change the topic, but what's the drama between the GHD? What's going on with that?
That was in relation to where their hips are allowed to be, / if your hips are allowed to be in a certain location, is there a certain patterning in which your knees have to track? Does that make sense? So there's that whole
sitting on top is cheating.
Correct. Sitting on top is cheating, and then also if you splay your knees out to the side, it's going against the intention of the movement.
I thought the top of the pad was okay, but anywhere on the half closest to the foot pad was not okay. So if your butt is on this side of it, you're good. If your butt's on that side of it, you're not good.
Right.
Yeah, no, last year at the games, that's what they told us the standard was.
Yeah,
That if
that's
there
what-
was
Do they use the anus as the demarcation line? Is that the they just draw a line across that?
In the briefing, they put a sticker on your pants where your anus is, so you know where it's at. Yeah,
So you know where to hang on.
Yeah.
like one of
The
those
thing
little
is-
circle
The
stickers.
thing is that at Syndicate, a coach asks the head judge where can an athlete be on the GHD, and they was like, you could be anywhere as long as your hands touch the ground and on the GHD. So my athlete tutor, he sits on top, and his knees are bent, and that's more efficient for him and faster for him to be able to touch the ground and touch the pad at top.
Do you guys train both methods?
How
A lot
come?
of
Just in
athletes-
case?
Yeah, just in case. But for him, I always like to tell my athletes, hey, you do what's comfortable for you until the judge say something to you. And then if they say, hey, you got to go straight legs, and then no problem, we work on it.
Sorry, Taylor, go ahead.
I got 3 minutes. They want anything from me.
Okay, what do we want to know? Brian City walking the venue at the Granite Games. What do you want to know? Okay, let's start here. Is anyone pulled out yet?
That's a good question.
Actually, yes.
CrossFit
Someone,
ring.
well, if they Orange pulled out of the team competition, and Zoe Warren is withdrawn from the individual competition. I haven't told Tyler Watkins yet, though. It's on her roster. She's on his roster.
Haha.
Which team? Can you repeat the team name again?
Orange.
If they Orange.
And
Well-
and why did Zoe pull out?
Injury.
Okay, so it's something she might have had that she was just hoping that would get better.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
And what about the team? Do we know why the team?
Injury to one of their athletes as well.
Okay. Okay. Brian, did you see? Did you watch any of the Far East today?
I haven't had a chance to, but I know about that guy, if that's what you're going to ask.
Yeah. Can I show you this video? I want to show you this. I think you'll appreciate this. It can't hurt to show it again. Here he is pushing out 310 here. And when we showed that, just so you know, James Townsend even said, wow, when we came back.
Wow. Don't show it to any weightlifting coaches.
Are we gonna get any more of you this weekend? Or are you gonna be able to jump in? We have another show at 4:30 or something, another one at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. Are you gonna be around?
I won't know till the last moments.
Okay. I'm gonna need help. I'm sick as a dog. I'm falling apart here.
Yep, I know. I saw those pictures of you. It was quite impressive.
That's why I'm wearing the Coffee Wads and Pod shirt. I'm hoping people won't think this is the Sevon podcast. They'll think I'm Peter.
Oh, jeez.
Don't tell anyone.
Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to go.
Is everyone there? Is everyone there?
Yeah, man. I saw a lot of the big names yesterday, and everyone's pretty excited. They were also super honest. I asked a lot of the athletes what they think about the competition. They're like, man, I can't afford a mistake. Everyone seems to know that there's one event or two events that's going to be the make or break for them, especially on the men's side. And they're just talking about, the need to capitalize on the rest of them so that, they can afford a not so good finish on that one.
Could you get a picture of Fikowski standing next to Colton Mertens for me?
Please.
Please, yes. Please. Thank you, Taylor. You're a good parent.
I actually think on the broadcast, I can't remember if it's event 1 or 2, that they're going to feature both of them as like the two feature athletes to watch in the event. It might be for the second one today. So you might I don't know if they'll do a split screen or not, but you might be able to steal one there.
Okay, great. Have you seen Marquand Jones?
I did. I talked to him yesterday. He said he's feeling good. He's excited to be back out here. It's been a while, but he's looking forward to it.
Is he taking it serious?
I'm sure he is, but I think that he's mostly just happy to be able to do this one more time.
Oh yeah, he taking it serious.
Okay, good. That's good to hear.
How does Phil Toon look?
He looks like he's ready to go. I saw him. He was the first person I saw when I got here on Wednesday night, and he looked like he was ready to just kill someone right then.
Yes.
But that's that could be the best thing for him or the worst thing for him. There's some short workouts here, but there's some long workouts here too. So I think for him, it's going to be his fitness is great. He's definitely one of the 5 fittest here. He just needs to manage each event within his own mind and make sure he doesn't burn out on those 2 long events.
Any crazy rumors about the complex? Anyone like saying some crazy shit? Like we're going to see a 365 or something? Anthony Davis, maybe?
Davis yesterday, and he just smiled at me.
He'll set the record for sure.
We'll see, but there's definitely I think that we'll see like a big group of guys that hit bigger lifts overall than we saw last week at the MAC. There's some guys even in the first heat that said that they can go above 330, and we only saw like maybe 2 or 3 of that last week.
All righty, thanks, Brian. Really appreciate it, dude. That's awesome. You popped in.
Okay,
good to see you, Brian.
Good to see you, James. Later, guys.
All-star cast. Holy cow.
You know, we just brought up Anthony Davis, and he's interesting because last year when he was competing at the Granite Games, he had only been training CrossFit for a handful of months. So now he's got a year under his belt. So he might be someone to look out for as well.
That was
right.
But that wasn't his first time training CrossFit for a few months.
Correct. It wasn't his first time. It was his first time in a while. He did like one of those Olympic lifting spurts.
I had him on the podcast, and it didn't even seem like he was giving CrossFit his all. Like, I mean, I haven't talked to him in, I don't know, 9 months. But when I talked to him last, it was just something it was almost like he dabbled in it. Is anyone here in contact with him? No one knows?
Not recently. I've spoken with him in the past a bit. Not the way you did, where you had an entire podcast with him, but I've seen him at competitions, and I just follow him on the Instagram, and I know that he had a time where he was off, and maybe you were talking to him during that period of time where he wasn't taking it quote unquote serious. But I think he might be someone to look out for, especially in the complex. He'll set the record.
And same with Marquand. I mean, it's obviously been 5 years since I interviewed him, but I think it was at the Albany Regional. And when I interviewed him, he was he was so chill about it. Like he didn't seem like some of these guys, like some of these people are like a nervous wreck. You know what I mean? They're just like, if they don't do this, you got to put them on alert. They've given it their all.
Right. That's his personality though. He's very chill, and you know, having that sport background of playing football and everything, you don't let, you know, events get to you too much. You just calm and collected, you know.
Oh shit, where's Rich and Angelo?
How did you get that screen pulled up? Mine doesn't work.
I had to go to workout 1.
Ew. Thanks.
Let's talk really, really honestly for a minute.
This is my favorite. What do we got?
It will be a fucking huge shock if Colton makes it to the games in this group, right?
I don't think it'll be a huge shock. I don't think it'll be a huge shock.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough, but it's not going to be a huge shock if he makes it. No.
How many former games athletes are in the field for the men?
A lot. I think it's.
I think Granite Games put up a post.
Paulson, Travis Mayer.
Yep.
Marquand.
Oh, Mark, what year did Marquand go?
2018.
18, right?
Shit.
Yeah. Quant, that's 4. Fiskowski, that's 5.
Chandler? Has Chandler been?
Yeah, Chandler.
Chandler 6.
5.
Colton is.
Oh wait.
Colton.
Zach Bunton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
Yeah, Zach Bunton too.
He's been to the games too.
I found the post. And 5 females. Fikowski, Mayer, Paulson, Quant, Smith, Mertens, and Bunton on the.
And then there's dudes like this. I wish I would have kind of like looked into this guy more before the games.
Well, we were talking about him. He's just a monster on the machines, and he did real well a Wodapalooza on that team of the Australian dudes.
Matt DeLugos. Hey, James, the crew that we have on here, I can't tell exactly what's going on, but there's a little hating going on the machines. A little bit of hating from all of us.
I love the machines. That's my best.
I love the torque tank.
Do you have any thoughts about the machines? Oh, okay, then I'll speak for myself. I think there's too many machines. I would be happy never to see the ski erg again in the CrossFit Games. I don't think it adds anything.
I actually like them.
Okay.
To be honest, you know, I like them for my athletes. You know, I like pairing them in with my athletes, especially with gymnastics.
I'm not saying as a training tool, but I'm saying at the venue, at the event.
No, no, I like that too. Like the what was that? The Karen workout that they had. The
skiing with Karen.
Yeah, the ski GHD. I like that. You know, I like those components. together for athletes to be able to show what their monostructural skills are like. So, I like that.
All right.
I got some tracks that I can pivot on that comment if you want me to.
Please, Mr. Hiller, please. I got nothing.
Number one, yeah, you said someone else take over the show, right?
Yeah,
well, I have a source that says that over at Proven, they spend the majority of their time on the machines. Just like, let's do this machine, now let's do that machine, it's this, that, whatever, machine, all day machine. And I think that it does make a little bit of sense. James, you got something to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, just agree?
Yeah, I agree.
And then
It's
when
the
Ben
best way
Smith
to
is
get
on,
intensity.
it's a great way to get intensity. And it's a great way to get contractions at everyone says go push the sled, go do sled work, because you're not going to get the eccentric piece of the sled. So if you go do a bunch of squats, there's always an eccentric component. That's the part that's going to beat you up most of the time. If you go push the sled, it's all concentric, and it's just like a nervous system beat down. You're not going to leave and have some sort of deleterious effect on the muscle fiber, so you can continue training. Same thing, in my opinion, on the machine. So if you want to go do a bunch of pulling, you row or you ski. If you want to do the pressing, you consider like the assault bike or maybe a Versa climber, and you get like the upper pressing, the horizontal pressing. And I think that you get the intensity and then you get the contractions in. So it makes sense in my mind to be doing a bunch of the machine training, but I don't think it also carries over to a competition.
Well, I think the other thing that also a lot, or at least some people acknowledge and understand, is that the more machine work you do and the bigger your cardiovascular base is, the more volume you can handle. The more volume you can handle, the faster you can recover. All that. And so the fittest are doing a lot of machine work because you can get easy intensity, you can improve your ability to recover, and you can just handle so much more volume. And
someone in the comments just
God,
said,
you guys all sound so smart. Hiller, you just blew me away. Good stuff, dude.
Did I? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The Stairmaster. Someone says, will the Stairmaster make an appearance? And I think that the biggest thing that we need to talk about here is that you could throw a Stairmaster into the Granite Games. And Savannah will be sitting there like, why the fuck is everybody on
which kind of Stairmaster though? Which kind? I'm
one
okay
where
with
you walk up the stairs, man.
Yeah. That one,
Savannah.
Okay, well, what's that one that they used to have in the gym when I was a kid? That thing
Pull
was
up a picture of the Stairmaster.
Okay,
I'll tell you
hold
whether or
on.
not it's the one you're thinking about.
Okay.
It's the
But
same
anyway,
one,
you can either go up and down the berm at the CrossFit Games, or you can put in a Stairmaster. So that, I think, Savannah, is the best thing you're talking about, where you see the athletes on a skier, you don't like it. Put them on a freaking ski hill if you want. Go ahead.
What about the ladder one? The one
Jacob's
that
ladder.
UFC fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that machine, James? Have you ever had people on that?
Yeah. I used to train UFC fighters.
That's the Stairmaster. There it is. Yeah.
They have a berm
$5,000.
at Granite Games though, so I feel like they should use the stadium at Granite Games, and they don't, or at least
They should, but they don't. Yeah.
They should, yeah.
Well, they no longer. So someone in my comment section on a video today was talking about, why do you guys keep on saying that Ben Smith or Rich Froning should program for these events? How dare you slap the guy who owns Granite Games in the face? I'm like, you guys know that Granite Games is no longer owned by James Swanson. Swanson sold Granite Games. It's part owned by Loud and Live now. And the only reason they're using Granite Games is because it's a big name that everybody knows. And that, I think that's part of the differencing between the West Coast Classic and the Granite Games. It's like, oh, bigger name, we'll go with the Granite Games.
Well, Swanson,
however, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say Swanson was also a huge proponent of Dave. Like, I remember when I went in 2018, he had just read Dave's book, Constructing the Games, and gave him a lot of credit. And so I felt like Swanson's programming was, at least he was
well, so he would use the hills. Yeah.
Yeah,
he would also use the area that's surrounded. But I also think that they've moved from the area where it originated, Granite Games. I've competed there a bunch. I've been up and down that fucking hill and around that entire course. And it's terrible. Awesome. It's like great.
Which venue? Programmed. Which venue are you referencing?
St. Cloud.
The Granite Games, St. Cloud venue. They used that college campus, and it was pretty cool. Like they had the warm up area right up top the basketball court with the gymnastics place right next to it, and they used the field there. It was very cool. They covered the ice hockey rink with floors. Yeah.
And Carson, they used the stadium.
Not that one.
Yeah, this is, sorry to interrupt, James. This is the one I thought you were talking about. All the gyms I used to go to had just shitloads of these, and I thought they were ridiculous. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, James.
I said in Carson, they use the stadiums a lot, the stadium stairs a lot. And that was interesting to see.
And I really like that too. But by the way, one of the things we talk about is the torque tank, and about how the torque tank, you can't pass anyone when you push the torque tank. And for me, that device shouldn't be in a competition if you can't pass someone. Right. It's just one speed the whole time. And I said, and that's never been in the games ever before, an event where you can't pass someone. But someone said another place you can't pass anyone is the stairs in Carson. And I kind of approve of that. I mean, because you could, right? You could pull their shirt, you could shove them to the side, but I kind of like that. like the stairs for that reason. So for the same reason I don't like the torque tank, I used to love the stairs. They need that back.
Could you imagine that stairway and someone just stopped and they're like, I'm going to stop all of you guys and I need you to do bad on this event. I need all these people to pass you, so I'm just going to stop in front of you.
Yeah. You'd get in trouble. Well, not now, but if Dave was there, you get in trouble. If Dave was there, you get in trouble. Anything else you guys want to bring up before I go throw up in the toilet? No.
I think I got all that off my chest. Yeah.
I'm sweating like a pig. Rich just texted me and said his phone overheated. That's nice of him.
I had a question for him too.
What was it? I'll answer it for him.
I just wanted to know whether or not he thought he'd be able to compete at these semifinals, or if that's something he even considers. Does he look at him and say, "I'd kill this one"?
Oh, he does.
And then
James does too. James does too.
The other thing I was curious about is whether, like,
and
how
so does
often,
JR, and so does Taylor.
I know Taylor does. JR, do you look at these and say, like, wonder how you'd stack up?
Yeah, a lot of them.
JR would probably set a world record on the legless rope climb run event.
Is that why you had him as your partner on the pegboard thing?
Yeah.
100 pegboard ascents? Yeah.
He'd probably set a world record and work out with that too.
Did you do track, JR? Did you do track or basketball, JR?
I played basketball.
For how long?
Through college.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Where you go to college at?
Anderson University. It's just a D2 school in South Carolina.
Crazy. I didn't know that.
What were you? Forward?
Combo guard. More like 6 foot.
He was a towel boy. Come on.
James, you played in the NFL, didn't you?
Yeah, the Bears.
I thought so. I thought I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
What did that look like for you?
Very business oriented. It's
how do you figure? What does that mean?
Well, you have your guys who are like me coming on, who are just I could say minimum base. So 435 was the minimum then, and then you have the guys who, making $3 million, $4 million, $10 million a year. So there's a difference. There's a tier in it, So
is that political, or what was the factor that kept you out? What was the factor that kept you out of, like, me knowing you as a name on the roster on the Bears? Because I'm in Chicago,
I made the decision myself to walk away.
Interesting. You care to share why?
I had a lot of pressure going on. A lot of outside pressure because I wear my heart on my sleeve, right? So I had a lot of family members that I haven't talked to, that never came to my game. Hey, James, I need, they call me Jim back home. So, hey, Jim, I need 10 grand. I need 20 grand when you make it, this and that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got you. I'll set you up. And it was just so much pressure. And then 2 months before the draft, I tried to commit suicide because of the pressure, because of so much. And so I spent 2 weeks in a mental hospital, and and to be 2 months away from the draft and then still get picked up and to come into a camp and everything, and knowing that, in order for me to be elite and be at that and be at my best, this needs to be better. And this wasn't better at that time. So I went into the office with Lovie Smith and told him, like, I need to walk away. I need to become a better man, a better father, future husband. I just need to be better because I can't be better for you guys if I'm not better here. So I made the decision to walk away.
I got two kind of questions off of that. Number one is, you said that you went through like a headspace change right there. Is that some stuff that maybe you implemented into Mal and will be implementing with Tudor as well?
Absolutely.
Like, you use that experience and kind of give it to those guys?
Absolutely. Because I could relate, you know what I mean? Like with Mal and with Tudor and then other athletes, they have these self-inflicted pressures on them, that comes from social media, that comes from, the other athletes that they came up with, that they competed, with in, as a teen, and, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, or, morning chalk up, or this person is not talking about me. I need to be this, I need to be that. And that's like self-inflicted pressure. Right. And for me as a coach, I understand that. I understand that
you had kids. You had kids through all that, or you didn't have kids yet?
I have one. I have a 19-year-old. I had her at 17.
This is a crazy personal question. Tell me to fuck off. But are you on medication now?
No.
Fuck. I gotta hear this story.
Not at all.
God, I gotta hear this story.
We're talking about it right now.
No, we gotta go. This isn't the place.
Did they put you on medication then? I spent time in a psych ward too. They fucking suck.
The thing about it is, they try to, and I talked about this plenty of times, and I don't have no problem talking about it. But they, even when I was there, the people that had the problem, they would tell me, "You don't belong here." They would be like, "You do not belong here." Yep. And that still to this day sticks out to me, because here people who really have a problem, but they're, for that quick second snapping out of their problem and saying, "James, you don't belong here."
Hey, did you drink at that time or do any drugs?
No drugs, never. Drink occasionally, never smoked.
And most of those cats
smoke once, weed once, and I didn't like how it made me feel. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing this no more.
And most of those cats in there were some sort of former drug addict?
What you say?
And most of those guys in there you were with, they were former drug addicts?
No, just people that, that just was different mentally, was just in a different space mentally,
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, good on you. Holy
Well,
shit.
it's a good thing that, so you just said all that and you gave Mal O'Brien some of that ability to deal with the pressure. So that's pretty cool.
Right. Right.
You worked with her, and she'll probably definitely be using some of that this weekend for sure.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
we started the show with that.
Yeah, I do that for all my athletes. It's like, look, it's really this self-inflicting pressure is really not that serious, but I understand where this pressure is coming from, but if you don't get a hold of it now, it could affect you in the future. And especially, I always tell them, like, look, when you're going in that first event, you need to bring that energy down, right? Because if that energy is up, as soon as you go ahead and start, you're blowing that energy out, and then you're wondering why you're so tired, right? So that energy needs to come down, and if you know how to manage that energy, the energy of keeping that pressure down as well, and not trying to compare yourself to somebody else, and just treat it as one event, one workout, one day at a time, you'll be fine. So
I have a question about, what do you think about a lot of the young kids coming up in the sport, and what it takes to be the best and to compete at this level. And I just feel like, I guess I look at it and I question, what is it doing to them growing up into that and missing out on a lot of the things that
just like what Rich was saying, is that they don't have the experience of playing sport. They don't know what it takes to actually work to something, or be in a team camaraderie, or have a coach and say, hey, you know what, you're not the best, you could be second string, or hey, you'll have 10 minutes to play, or we'll throw the ball to you maybe 5 or 10 times or whatever. You got to work to that, right? Mm-hmm. But now it's like it's so much individualized. It's like, I need to make it to the games because now they have teams, and my friend who does CrossFit is a games athlete, and I need to be that too. And it's like, you don't need to be that right now. And I understand CrossFit is their sport, their high school sport, right? It's like we were coming up, we were playing baseball, basketball, football. That was our high school sport. That was our extracurriculum, right? But this is their extracurriculum. And I get it and I understand it, but when I'm training a lot of these athletes, man, they have a lot of pressure that they put on themselves.
Do you think they're more likely to burn out? That's one thing I fear in terms of all that mental pressure.
They can if they have a coach that give a damn.
Yeah.
I'm a coach that give a damn because I've been there. I've been to the point to where it drove me to trying to take my life. But now that I understand that it takes somebody to understand, and it takes somebody to give you the time and care to help you deal with those pressures, right?
You thought you were letting someone down? Is that why you did that? You thought you were letting someone down?
Oh yeah. I mean, when you look at football players, and you ever seen that 60 for 60, or the 30 for 30 on or the broke NFL players?
Yeah.
The number one reason why they go broke is because of family.
Right.
They don't know how to say no to family.
Right.
Right. And it always comes down to that, I don't want to let moms down. I don't want to let my brother down. But most importantly, I don't want to let the hood down, or I don't want to let my community down. And even when I came home, people were like, yo, what are you doing here? You should be in a camp, the Cowboys or whatever, or the Eagles. The Eagles, their camp is right up here, South Jersey. They right across the Ben Franklin Bridge. Just go to their camp. You shouldn't be home. But at the same time, are you going to ask me, why am I home? Are you going to want to understand why I decided to walk away instead of just seeing me as an athlete and saying, hey, I need to make this money to take care of you? Hey, James, why are you home? Mental health. All right, let's take care of that. Then, so when you get better, then you can go ahead and go to a camp. But don't just say, you shouldn't be home. You should be in a camp. Why are you home? Why you walk away? Understand the why, Do
you have a podcast, James?
No.
Are your mom and dad still around?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing to take away from all that is that you've spoken a handful of times now about how almost more important than the workouts the athletes are doing is the headspace that you put them into their training sessions, into the competitions and whatnot. And you said just there that you removed yourself from your sporting world because your headspace wasn't correct. And it's almost like your entire coaching methodology came from that. Would you say that parallel? Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. It came from one, not having my dad in my life. So I pride myself on not becoming the same man that he was and not becoming the father that he was. And so by him, and I could shake his hand to this day. So by him not being in my life, he made me a better man and a better father, which ultimately made me a better coach. So dealing with that and being able to come out of that headspace as a football player, I'm able to relate to so many athletes and so many people to help them come to grips with their, with their situations or their problems,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to watch the semifinals. James, you're a bad dude. Taylor Self, you're a bad dude. Jared Howell, you're a bad dude. Hiller, you're a bad dude. I'm a sick dude. Thanks you guys for coming on. I will send you guys DMs and text shortly to tell you when we're going to go live next. If I'm still alive, I'm excited to watch event one. We're coming back after event one. We'll give you guys 30 minutes to an hour of chatter from us, and then we'll stay up late tonight. Those of us who stay up late will be back here. I guess it's midnight around East Coast time, and we'll see you guys then. I'll try to pile on some more special guests for you guys. Thanks for